Having a free against Zaimat. Tena utuzeka abandi kusawa tano kitundu kumusango waliwo game. Meanwhile, number plate UBP 544 stroke K. UBP 544 stroke K. You're blocking someone. We wanted to be able to go Capitano.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ATA YouTube channel. Today, Tuesday, on what is a cold evening at 7:15 starting time, East African time, where we are having pretty much the biggest match of the day, though it's not the very last. Caesar Chandiga, normally when he faces off with Ibrahim Sejemba, Ugandan pool does catch a cold when they sneeze. That's what is exactly happening here. Everybody gets their attention to just one table to see where exactly this one is all going. It is the second winners bracket semi-final in the third edition of the ATA Uganda Super 8-man competition, and we are at Dice Lounge in Chireka Trading Center in Kampala City. And as easy as that, Caesar, the guy seated, has just won the first frame of the match. For not more than 1 hour and 20 minutes, which is 80 minutes, we shall have a winner. But at most, the race is 8. Duration of time between shots is 40 seconds. It does happen before we have 15 minutes left on the clock, because when it gets to that, the time between shots is halved to 20 seconds per shot. Now this is Ibra breaking frame number 2, getting to pot a red and another red By the rules, it is supposed to be either 3 balls potted or 3 balls crossing the imaginary middle of the table. Better still, pot a ball and cross 2. After all, each ball potted or a ball crossed and the player 1 point, and it's supposed to be 3 points to obtain a legal break. So this break is more than legal, and Ibra is going for apple. He is the Ugandan player that gives Caesar the hardest time every time the two face off. This year alone, this is the 3rd time that they are facing off. The last time round was the 2nd round of a Super 8-man comp that was organized at Dice Lounge in Kampala. It was played on set system, race to 3 sets, with each set being a race to 4. It ended in a decisive set won by Caesar. 3 weeks prior, they had faced off in the same exact system at Kazibwe Arena, this time a 16-man comp that was played on double life basis. They faced off in the quarterfinals of the 2nd life. It ended in the decisive set and decisive frame won by Caesar. About 2.5 months ago, they met in the final of a 64-man competition that was organized at the Ultimate Pool Arena in Tinda Trading Center in Kampala City. The comp was won by Ibra after defeating Caesar in a race to 7 final by 7 frames to 5. So in terms of scores of victories between these players, it is Caesar having the lead by 2 tournaments to 1. This one is the 3rd. Ibra going for an equalizer, but Caesar also going to extend his lead, at least in terms of count of victories this year. Now Ibra has lost his cue ball. He should have played a little bit more normally. Perhaps he wanted to avoid contact between cue ball and red. It was always going to be very unlikely. He has a chance to cut black sharp to the center pocket bottom. It is a time foul. He's not yet in quotes in class. He did not take notice of the beeping clock. The 40 seconds elapsed before he could play the black, let alone pot it. He has to be reminded that he's not in his comfort zone. He's having a discussion with the umpire Henry Joko, but there is nothing to do with the rules. After all, those are the same rules that will be used in the Ultimate Pool Championships that will be happening in South Africa next week. Caesar will be taking this one as easy pickings of a frame that is now heavily poised to win. We'll want to play the 2 reds at the corner pocket bottom left first. But depending on this cue ball, now he'll play the 1 at the corner pocket last. And there he's cueing, there he's managing the cue ball. It does have the same exact effect of the 2 frames Ibra will be losing out of the first 2. The second will be the most painful because he was not wary of the time rule. Ibrahim Sojemba 0 and Caesar Chandiga 2. Ibra will be so much disappointed in himself for not having been able to win the second frame. He was so near, and yet so far he even had the option to call for an extension, which he still had but then didn't. It was perhaps complacency. And it's the third frame is going the way of the Scorpion, and by break and finish, how many times do I say the words break and finish when it is Caesar playing? There he does win the third frame in a row out of 3. A match that he's really running away with. One of those times when you are a player, when you are Ibra, you don't need timeout as quick can be. All the 3 Super 8 and 16-man comps of the ATA have been won by Caesar. The first, a 16-man African comp. He defeated the fellow Ugandan Hazard in the final. The second, all Ugandan at the same venue. He defeated Hazard in the final. The third was played just about 3 months ago. He won it right here at Addis Sport. He's trying to make it 4 out of 4 for himself. And the other comp that has been played here this year was as well won by the same player, Caesar, who is on the count of now 14 tournaments won so far this year, becoming a distant best player in terms of comps won so far. The only close player, maybe not close enough, but perhaps the closest to him has been Ian, who is so far on 7. Ibra being a shadow of himself in terms of comps won. He stands on not more than 3, especially for himself, the individual. But for the team, things have been moving quite well. He's the captain of the Roxbury Pool Club team that won the Ugandan Pool League, himself being named top scorer and most valuable player by the Pool Association of Uganda. It's the same team that won the Q Masters International Carnival in the team category. So he's been a prouder team player. Caesar a distant, prouder individual player. These 2 players are expected in South Africa in less than a week's time. For now, we are looking at the guy that is trying to utilize what is a very dependable pattern to mount a comeback against Caesar of all players, Ibra, now on 4 yellows. It has to be a simple roll. Should have played some good top spin. He will go for the yellow. That is rightwards of the 3 from this camera angle. Now, the one that is perhaps in the middle of them all. The cueing is good. The behavior of the cue ball even better. Now he needs top spin on the cue ball, putting yellow to the center pocket, white ball following the yellow towards the middle of the table. Just like that, pinpoint accuracy. Responding to apple with the apple is the killer in Ibrahim Sajema, who pulls one back. It is now 3 frames to 1. The fight is on. The race is 8. 1 extension per frame, 40 seconds per shot for each shot. Sorry, 40 seconds per shot in each frame in 1 hour and 20 minutes. Over that time so far we have used just 9 to play 4 frames. That is top-notch speed. There goes the break by the Scorpion. These guys seem to have mastered the art of the break. All of them breaks so far have been pretty good. In ultimate rules, as a player, you are conditioned to break strong. You cannot afford to break slow. It has to be a break with power. After all, it will be judged to be a foul in the break. If you don't make 3 points, that is pot 3 balls or have 3 balls cross the imaginary middle of the table. As big a break as Caesar broke, as good a spirit of the Reds as they were, you would fancy him anytime, any day, even though he's taking on his biggest rival, at least in the semi-finals of a comp that is defending champion. And yet, for the first time in the match, Caesar gets complacent. He took too little time. He took it for granted that the ball was going in, but he wasn't exactly granted. Now Ibra needs to respond. These are the chances that you really need to survive off if you are an opponent of Caesar. He doesn't commit so many errors. When that one comes, make it count. And of course, by finishing the frame, he has to be wary. The ball is playing, has to be potted only by rail drive. That was so close to being missed, as though the ball reached the jaws of the pocket and thought about whether to get sunk or not. Then the ball made its mind up to get sunk. Here he is. Perhaps if he makes a cut of the yellow to the center pocket at the bottom, cue ball could be played into the yellow that is frozen near the cushion at the top center pocket. Is what he's trying to do, perhaps. And yes, and the ball is well executed. Just that the yellow ball he's played open has been played with slightly more power than he would have fancied. The tempting shot for him is yet another rail drive in the same frame, this time longer distance, taking it to the corner pocket, top left, and it's in. He's perfecting his pattern. He's getting his craft right. He's getting his mind in shape. He's also playing his fans back into the game, because when you are facing an opponent as is Caesar, you also need the fans to be on your back. Here is the Roxbury captain going for a second clearance in the match, this time around utilizing a would-be unexpected miss from Caesar, and Ibra does exactly what Caesar did fail to do when he had the opportunity during the same frame, and wins the frame with one visit of the table. We are watching world-class pool, Ugandan style, between two, without a shadow of a doubt, of Uganda's best players. While they are not exactly the top 2 ranked players, actually they are not even number 1 and 2, but yes, at least they are the unofficial best players in the country, and I love it when they get the best out of each other. Every time that they face off, they are also a source of inspiration to so many players that have fallen in love with the game. I do remember Ibra's manager Zach Idiro, when making a speech celebrating the league triumph at Roxbury in Uganda, he did say that he was watching pool in lockdown and then started watching so many matches, fell in love with Ibrahim Sejemba as a fan, contacted some people and got Ibra closer. Roxbury did sign him as a player first, and around him they built a team that has now become the best facilitated team in the league, also the strongest team in the league, perhaps one of the strongest pool clubs on the African continent, and that was testified when they won the Q Masters International Carnival team category. But Roxbury people, while they have Ibra as their darling player, they also have love for Caesar. I've seen him invited there twice, and they enjoy it where they are around him, although they don't exactly support him. He really does love tormenting Roxbury players. They are the cheapest team, no shade of a doubt. They have players who reach cash prizes most of the time, but there is this one guy that always torments them. There is one comp that he won by defeating the whole Roxbury team, all of them 5. That double life competition that was played in Masaka. He in fact took positions number 1 and 2, beating Ibra and Ian and Hazard and Computer. He has just played top spin with cue ball spinning round its axis a bit more to have a cut on the yellow. When he draws it backwards, it moves to a position where he can simply roll. Now the last yellow to the corner pocket bottom left. White ball will be natural perhaps for black, maybe to the center pocket on the right. He has played it a little bit arrogantly, but with the same exact effect, with entertainment, with not so much simplicity but too much effectivity. Caesar wins again with 1 visit of the table. We are watching these ones. I wish this one was a longer race than it is, because I'm really entertained. I don't know if you are entertained as much as myself. Rafael Muzinyi, thank you for watching. Adriano Sky, you're asking how this Super 8-man comp works out. Okay, it is organized by the Advanced Talent Agency. It is a dress rehearsal to the African Ultimate Pool Championships that are coming up this coming Monday in Mbombela, Mpumalanga, South Africa. So the Ugandan team that had 8 players qualify from the selection into the official traveling team, that is 8 ladies and 8 men, are playing a Super 8 and Super 8 man and Super 8 woman competition. They are playing 0 registration fees. The ATA is catering for the entire cash prizes for the top 4 in the men and top 4 in the ladies category. They are also playing international rules, the same ultimate rules that they will be playing while in South Africa. The team has today, I can now confirm, gotten visas for South Africa. The passports are returned with visas granted. But yes, I can also confirm to you that they have not yet secured air travel fees, and yet time is running out for them. So I'm making this plea to you just in case there is that one player that you love, you can pay and you love and you are able to, you don't want them to miss. There is a risk that they could miss out because of air travel, which they have not yet secured. Feel free to purchase them an air ticket because they have already entered, as in paying entry fees. They have also paid the registration fees for the singles event. They have also paid for accommodation and meals. The average price of a ticket for each player is just over $600. So for any player, maybe I can pin my contact. You can just contact me and you say you want to sponsor so and so. That is an air ticket if you want to see them playing the African Ultimate Pool Championships. And then I can guarantee you that they will be on a plane this coming Saturday latest. Yes, the half Coakley. You're right. Pau is supposed to be paying for the tickets, but air travel fees have not been secured on time. But the rest of the budget has been catered for NCS through Police Station of Uganda. But now, on the ultimate table, Uganda's ultimate player is just about to sink black for what will be the 5th time in the match. From that range, he's not going to miss Caesar 5 and Ibra 2. The simplicity with which this guy sometimes executes stuff. You just run out of superlatives always describing his play. You don't get tired of watching him. Most of the times he doesn't get tired of winning. He doesn't get tired of potting black. Within a nick of time, it is 6 frames that have been won by the Scorpion. Against Ibra's 2. And each of these players now needs reverse scores because Caesar needs to win 2. Ibra needs to win 6 out of 7. Most likely than not, Ibra may have to now contemplate whom he will be facing in the losers bracket semifinals tomorrow. Otherwise, Caesar is likely to be taking on Hazard in the winners bracket final. Here comes the Scorpion breaking another frame. I love watching the break from this camera angle. And yet he does get to make another red. And looking at the position of the reds and how good he's closing the table, how neatly he's moving the cue ball around the cushions of the table. Playing yellow, so playing red. Getting to close it, then potting the next 2 with ease, granting himself white with ease, rolling the cue ball around another red with ease. This one is likely to be the quickest frame in this competition so far. I'll have to crop it out. I'll have to time it. Oh no, it could not be. Perhaps he has sight. Yes, he has sight. My goodness. How on earth do you finish a frame that quick, Mr. Chandiga? Granted 40 seconds to play each shot. He's demonstrating that less than 10 are enough. He does win another frame, perhaps. Could be easily the 4th out of 6 being won in exactly the same way and by break and finish. A match being played at top level by a top player, turning a fellow top player into a spectator of a match where he is an opponent. Caesar Chandiga 7 and Ibrahim Sejemba 2. Joshua Kena, thank you for watching. Charles Kasule, thank you for watching. There's a way Caesar's fans are flocking the comment section. We have 56 minutes to go. It's less than 30 minutes and now spent, actually 25 minutes on the clock, and we have played 9 frames. That is how speedy these players have been, most especially the guy that is having the lead now. Ibrahim Sejema must win all of 6 frames in a row. Second time that Ibra is having the ultimate pool experience. For Caesar, this perhaps is the 3rd, because outside this competition and the previous ATS Super 8 Ugandan Man competition, he also had the feeling of participating in the UK Ultimate Pool Championships. Of course, in the same event whose aftermath saw him play out in a money match where he played a decisive frame against one of the best players in the world in Chris Melling, only losing out by decider. Now Ibra trying to right the wrongs that he has been committing in this match. Not so many wrongs. Sometimes he has been losing frames relatively innocently because Caesar sometimes has proved to be playing pretty much alone. Ibra is responding to apple with the apple. I love that, what I'm seeing. Yes, the ball is on target with stop effect on the right. The killer will be sinking black to the corner pocket now, bottom left, for him to win the third of the match. There comes Ibra's third. It is now Caesar 7 and Ibra 3. If you're asking when the final of the winners bracket is, you want to watch more pool today. The next match coming up is in the losers bracket between Joseph Kasozi and Ibrahim Kanja. It will be the last action of the day, and then tomorrow 8 more matches involving 4 in the ladies and 4 in the men, and there we have the victors, the champions. All players involved tomorrow will already be in the prize bracket anyway. That is the break from Caesar. It looks dry. Not only dry, it's as well a scratch. Exactly what Ibra needs. His best option, Ibra, is to take the frame away with one visit of the table. Here he is. The umpire will soon be warning him. He must know that he's not in his comfort zone. There's little time allocated between shots. You can inspect for 20 seconds, then aim for 10 at maximum, and then play. Farida Masiata, thank you for watching, supporting the Scorpion. Smith J, it is raised to 8, only 8. So Caesar needs to win only 1 out of 5. Ibra needing to win all. It doesn't get more complex than that. There goes the miss. Of course, it was suspicious, his decision to play the reds. There is a pretty much bad red at the right end of the table. And maybe it was some kind of suspect game reading. And the usual suspect wants to finish the frame the usual way. For as long as there will be passage of that yellow to the corner pocket now, bottom right, the Scorpion will be in business. He will not be happy with the fact that cue ball has been played into the yellow, only to freeze it right against the cushion. He may have an opportunity to play the cue ball into it again. This is the opportunity, and it is played rightly. And may need something similar. If you have to look at the situation at the corner pocket, bottom left, there is another yellow right behind the red, but if he can aim on target, he can draw the white ball backwards. At one point I thought he may play the cue ball into the red and the yellow, perhaps proving right that as long as he has sight of the yellow, after all, cue ball is natural for the last yellow to the center pocket at the bottom. Another shot which now has to play, drawing the cue ball topwards where the black is. Could be snooker. Yes, it is snooker. Using very little time to find black off the cushion. Oh my God! What a way to win the frame. What a way to take down your closest opponent. What a way to entertain. What a way to play ultimate pool. World class but Ugandan style. Demonstrating exactly why he is a uniquely gifted player. Caesar Chandiga makes light work of Ibrahim Sejemba, defeating him by 8 frames to 3.
We have now confirmed the winners semi-final tomorrow. Caesar against the Commander. 2 games to go. Ian against Kasozi. Lastly,